In Mr. Currin's AP Literature class, I recently had the opportunity to view the documentary, Most Likely to Succeed. It walked through the history of the educational system throughout the past century in the United States. Technology and economy may be rapidly changing, but the school system has hit a standstill. With the One to the World initiative in full swing, I wondered exactly how students are being prepared for jobs that haven't even been invented yet, and what types of skills should the teachers promote to allow the students to grow. Should students be driven by critical thinking and problem solving, or should they be sitting behind a desk memorizing for a test? I asked a few teachers, and Principal Ryan, for their opinions on the advocating of this momentous shift in education and the teaching styles that come with it.
Gone are the days where people hunker down and really anchor into one career as it is.
When I think about preparing students for jobs of the future, I think about helping them find purpose, finding experiences out there that are meaningful to them. When you see the value of helping someone, then you probably are going to find some purpose in your work.
So we talk about the idea that it's no longer about what you know. Can you find what you need to solve the problem? Any information you want is out there. It's just, do you have the skill to find it?
And that's a challenge for teachers too, because we have, there are expectations of what's going to be taught in a class, what has been taught, what's going to be assessed at the end.
It creates a lot of chaos too. The system as it is right now makes students have to jump through a number of hoops so that they can earn the right to study or do something that they want to do after high school.
Seymour Papert said this: the only skill in the 21st century is the skill of learning. So if you can learn on your own without someone spoon feeding you, you will succeed, because you will be able to change and grow and adapt to the world that you live in.
I really think back to one of my friends who got a job and was given a manual that was 500 pages long and given 2 weeks and said, you need to figure this out or we're going to hire someone else, and no one else in the company knew how to use it, and he took it home and figured out how to do it. So those problem solving skills, that ability to just push through even if you don't have any idea what's going on, I think is really what we should be doing with these initiatives.
We've done things where students are creating the question that they want to answer, students are creating the project style that they want to work on, students are creating the rubrics, students are able to assess areas that they're strong in, assess areas that they're weak in, and then adapt and work on things that are more meaningful to them. I think a lot of that has to do with, or a lot of that comes from teachers relinquishing some of the traditional controls that they've had.
So the biggest thing we can do with education is really give kids grit and learn how to keep pushing past those problems that they might have where they don't know the answer to something.
How are we preparing innovators? We're thinking about how the learning continuum happens during the day.
If students are engaged and students are interested, the skills are taking care of themselves.
There's an educator by the name of A.J. Giuliani, and he says that it's no longer about preparing students for something, it's helping them to learn to prepare for anything. It will be true in the not too distant future that you don't apply for jobs any longer. You'll be creating your own job, whatever that means. Skills that we need to focus on, it would be 21st century skills, like the skill of collaboration, right? Being able to work with others, being able to find information that you need to solve a problem.
Communicating, listening, problem solving, critical thinking, emotional intelligence.
I think the class that I teach, creative thinking and problem solving, deals with a lot of those skills. Dealing with the unknown, or what we'll learn as ambiguity. Things like tolerating failure, what to do when something doesn't go as planned. Curiosity and the importance of asking good questions. That's my personal favorite, because I'm a super curious person. We talk about clarifying a problem, the importance of divergent thinking or coming up with lots of possible solutions for things.
And that's why our shift in education now is away from teacher-centered learning towards student-centered learning.
And that's why I'm convinced teachers are more valuable now than ever, because we're tasked with preparing students for a future that we don't know what it looks like.
If instead we flip the tables and say, you have to come up with the questions, and then define the question, define the problem, and then find the answer. That's the key. We need to give students voice and choice in education.
I mean, the content and beyond the content exists in the palm of most students' hands, and certainly in our situation, everyone's got a device, everyone's got a Surface Pro.
The goal with One to the World, when it's done, which we're all working towards, we're trying to get there, is that students don't do closed-ended problems, they do more open-ended problems. So things that might not have a solution or an obvious solution, or we don't even present students with a problem, they discover the problem.
Individuals go at different paces and take different paths depending on what their passions are.
If the system creates more opportunities for people to figure out what they enjoy, we're saving time.
The focus is on skills instead of content. And we're still stuck in that old model where, we cram content so that students can pass tests. Again, it's not realistic any longer in the world that we live in. We need to move beyond that and focus on skills and giving students the ability to own their learning and the path that they take, not only in high school, but from that point and beyond.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yes, as Mr. Currin left us with, that is what Alden is trying to do. Our radical change in the shift of education is going to change how prepared seniors are as they walk out of Alden High School. The initiative in our school district will prove as a guide to further creating innovative, creative thinkers rather than students obsessed with passing a test. I'm Carolyn Freeman reporting for Wax News.